my sneakers to the ground, I do not jump, I move the earth down. Bear witness to the genius of my sound. Born at the bottom, but now I'm top down. Look.
So in the last video on Dragon Ball's deities, we talked about Korin, the god of martial arts on Earth that just happens to be a talking white cat. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the next deity on our climb to the top, the Guardian of Earth through all of Dragon Ball and the first half of Dragon Ball Z, Kami. Now, Kami has one of the most interesting backstories in all of Dragon Ball. He's also one of the most underappreciated characters in the show, despite the fact that he is arguably one of the most important characters in the show, considering the fact that he is the one that created the Earth's Dragon Balls. So how does his story begin? Well, on planet Namek in the age 242, a nameless Namekian child hatched, who, while he was still a child, planet Namek underwent a catastrophic natural disaster which killed almost all of the other Namekians. And in an attempt to save his life, his father put him on a ship and launched him into space. Eventually, he landed on Earth. In a strange twist of fate, the ship Kami came to Earth on is the same ship that Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan used to travel to Namek. So not much is really known about Kami, or the nameless Namekian, I should say, after he arrived on Earth. We do know that the ship landed in Yunzabet Heights, where he spent most of his life. And once he finally ventured out and began encountering people, his heart became tainted by the violence and hatred in the world. It's important to note, though, that despite this, he did not become an evil being. He just let some impurities into his heart, which plays a crucial role in how the rest of his life plays out. So eventually, though, he makes his way to the lookout and encounters the Guardian of Earth. And over time, he worked towards becoming the next Guardian of Earth. And this is where the impurities he let in come into play, because the Guardian asked him about these evil essences that were suppressed in his soul, and told him that the only way that he would ever become Guardian would be if he could separate himself from the evil within. And this is what Kami did. He purged all of the evil from his body, and this resulted in two separate beings. One of them was pure evil, and one of them was good. This is the point also where the nameless Namekian finally took a name. The being of pure evil became known as King Piccolo, and the good took the name of Kami, which ironically translates to God or divine being. This is when Kami, the Guardian of Earth, was actually born. Now, as the Guardian of Earth, Kami's sole responsibility was to protect Earth and oversee it, which he did. However, it's worth noting that he was not a very big fan of humans. His opinion was tarnished as he watched them rebuild after the King Piccolo Wars, although in my opinion, I don't really think that he was in a position to say anything about humanity, because despite the fact that he was the Guardian, he is still the reason that Piccolo existed. As the Guardian of Earth, he was supposed to protect the Earth, but Piccolo is the one thing that he could never protect them from, because the destruction of King Piccolo meant the destruction of Kami. It would have killed Kami to take out Piccolo. However, eventually Piccolo was defeated and sailed away. Then after the defeat of King Piccolo, Kami created the Dragon Balls to give the people of Earth hope. But he did start to regret it after a while. But then he met Goku, and once he met Goku, he began to warm up to humanity and began to help as much as he could. But even though he was the Guardian, I mean, he was not the strongest being on Earth, so his ability to protect the Earth was outclassed by other characters. From the time that he became Guardian, Kami stayed on his lookout with his attendant Mr. Popo, watching over humanity, but not really doing much else. Once Goku made it to the lookout, though, Popo was the first person Goku seen, and assuming that he was Kami, he started trying to get him to train him. They fought for a little bit. Popo ate a Kamehameha, and eventually he was introduced to Kami, who ended up training Goku for the next 3 years. And at this point, Kami also restored the moon that was destroyed by Master Roshi and removed Goku's tail permanently. So 3 years later, though, we get one of the super rare moments when Kami leaves his lookout and interacts with the people of Earth, when he joins the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. I should say this before I go any further. Since Piccolo and Kami are essentially two halves of the same being, if one dies, so does the other. However, Goku does manage to kill King Piccolo, and Kami did not die. The reason for this is that just as he was about to die, he spit out an egg that contained the Piccolo that we all know from Dragon Ball Z, only he was a dick at this point. But at the tournament, they do encounter Piccolo Jr., and Kami realized that Piccolo Jr. is far stronger than Senior. So after Kami defeated Yajirobe and Yamcha, Yamcha defeated, that's kind of a ongoing thing, isn't it? In the tournament, he tries to seal Piccolo, but that kind of backfires because Piccolo reversed it and ends up sealing away Kami, although Goku did free him pretty easily. He beats the hell out of Piccolo, but lets him live so that Kami won't die. So skip ahead 5 years, and we have the start of Dragon Ball Z. On a side note, I'm not sure how many people have realized this, but it's something to think about. The Piccolo that we know in Dragon Ball Z was born in age 753. Gohan was born in the age 757, meaning that Piccolo is only 4 years older than Gohan is. That's crazy. Now, in Dragon Ball Z, though, the role Kami plays is far less significant due to the fact that we are almost immediately introduced to King Kai. Now, while Kami is the guardian of Earth, King Kai was over an entire quadrant of the galaxy. And then there are 4 Kais on the same level as King Kai, each presiding over a different quadrant. The 4 quadrants are divided up into the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. The King Kai that we're talking about right now is the North Kai. But back to Kami. So when I say that the role Kami plays is less significant after meeting King Kai, I'm referring to his actions, but not what he represents. See, King Kai might be a higher ranking god than Kami is. He trains the fighters to become stronger than Kami ever could, but none of this takes away from the fact that Kami's existence is more important to the series than King Kai's, because Kami equals Dragon Balls. However, this does diminish eventually because during their trip in Namek they found another Namekian that could replace Kami and also make Dragon Balls, but I'll get to that in a minute. Now Kami does end up dying because Piccolo is killed by Nappa, which sucks because, like I said earlier, I mean, Kami equals Dragon Balls, so no Kami equals no Dragon Balls, and no Dragon Balls equals no way to make a wish to bring people that were killed in the Saiyans back. All is lost, and this is where the story of Dragon Ball ends. So wait a minute, hold on, sorry. Actually, they can just go to Namek and use those Dragon Balls. And this is the moment that Kami instantly became irrelevant, because they no longer needed his balls. His Dragon Balls. Yeah, okay, never mind, sorry. Anyways, so he does come back to life after they used the Namekian Dragon Balls to revive Piccolo, which caused the Earth's Dragon Balls to come back for a while, but still, Kami didn't really do much after that. Now, let's skip ahead to the fight against the android in Cell, and we will finally see Kami do his job, and do something to protect the Earth. Now, this is my favorite part of Kami's story. Remember how I was saying that to become the Guardian, Kami had to purge the evil from his heart, which created Piccolo. Well, this does come full circle, because during the Android and Cell sagas, the fighters were so completely outmatched by the androids in Cell that they honestly had no chance of winning. So in a desperate attempt to save the Earth, Kami decided that he needed to fuse with Piccolo again. So the nameless Namekian purged the evil to become Kami and Piccolo, and so he could become the Guardian of Earth. But he had to refuse with that evil in order to save the Earth, which is completely ironic. So this is where Kami's story ends, because once he merged with Piccolo again, Dende took over as the Guardian of Earth. So while Kami is still technically alive within Piccolo, I guess you could say, he's not really a character anymore. Anyways, guys, so that is the story of Kami. Let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.